and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Join us Friday, January 10th as the Lincoln Stars host USA Hockey National Team Development Program for Star Wars Night at the Ice Box. It's the first of 2 games this weekend, January 10th and 11th, as the Stars take on the U-17s in a pair of games at the Ice Box. Don't forget to join us on Saturday as well, as it's Buddy Pass Night in the capital city. Tickets for both games are available for purchase now, and you can head over to LincolnStars.com.
Since discovering Limitless Mail, thousands of men have changed their lives. They've experienced more energy, sharper thinking, fat loss, muscle gain, and a boost in sex appeal. Men are loving life again, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Wives, kids, even coworkers are seeing the difference. Limitless Mail is a guy changer. We provide custom treatment plans to ensure both safety and maximum benefits. Don't settle for cookie-cutter solutions. Limitless Mail is the powerhouse in men's health. Schedule your free consult.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is, hopefully for you, a fantastic Friday, a happy Friday, and that you've had something today that was good for you. Good for you and good for yours. And if it hasn't happened, just means it just hasn't happened yet. So as we head to the 4 o'clock hour on a Friday, lots going on around Lincoln and in the Husker Nation this weekend. I hope that you have your tickets for tomorrow's wrestling match against Minnesota, and you get to see the best wrestler in the country. And I don't think that there's anybody that can argue that that is a true statement. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Husker basketball, men's and women's. We'll talk about NIL and some of what's going on. And, of course, you've got a big game tonight between two logoed programs, players of great legend. Tonight is a legend game where somebody gets to stamp themselves as unique and authentic in a very unique year of college football. And then to set up a weekend, wildcard weekend in the NFL. And there's just a ton of things in play. So I'll try not to be obnoxious about Washington. If you're a Bucs fan, I'll apologize in advance.
How many Bucs fans do you know?
Oh, I know a ton. I know a ton. I know
one. It's my father-in-law.
No, I know a ton. I had a roommate that was a Bucs fan. Actually, I had two roommates in different cities that were Bucs fans, and neither of those cities were Tampa. So we found great interest in that. Like, why would you do that to yourself? There was all sorts of torture and things in play. But that's kind of the deal that I'd like to – a part of that today is to kind of identify who fans are. Like of the teams that are playing tomorrow, who are their fans?
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that as well. Again, you can follow on the live video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo Channel 961. If you want to be a part of this, jump on the Starter Hammer text line, 402-464-5685. Yes, would love to hear from you. Hit us with a what's up because it's Friday, and we deserve it. You deserve it. Let's meet in the middle and have some conversations. But first, Austin, if you would please let them know about the Mercado.
Oh, gladly. The Mercado is one of the places that if it's not on your monthly shopping list, or more frequently, definitely should be. Every type of meat, every type of cut, even in the winter, they come through. You can get creative cooking inside your house instead of out on the grill. Got a few Lincoln locations as well as one up in Omaha. They are all over the city of Lincoln, mostly on the east side, a little bit down south, 84th and Havelock. You got 84th and Pioneers. You got 30th and Yankee Hill as well in Lincoln, 162nd and Maple up in Omaha. Check them out. They're great friends. And don't forget, every Friday starting at 11 at that 84th and Havelock location, Fired Up Fridays.
Go get it. Go get into it. Get into it because you can. We are also making smiles, and you will have today, the rest of business today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday to pick up said prize. We are going to offer some goodies from Beatrice Bakery there. Remind me, is it the Southern Pecan cake that we have? The Southern Pecan and bourbon?
So. I believe so. I can go grab it right outside.
Yeah. There's a wonderful cake. So there's a couple things we want to offer in the course of this next 2 hours. One, there is a lemon drop cake. There's a strawberry daiquiri cake from Beatrice Bakery. And then there's this wonderful new addition that they just start making. And I thought, in keeping it simple, but it is such a wonderful brand. Yeah. Austin went and made the run to go and see what this was. But what does it say on the label for this fine specimen?
It says Grandma's Bake Shop Southern Bourbon Pecan Cake. 24 ounces. It is hefty. It is dense. It is rich. And let me tell you, it is worth it.
Southern Bourbon Pecan.
16 servings? Nah.
For non-farmers, yeah. I think.
I guess.
I think 12. How many ounces?
24.
Yeah,
Serving size 1.5 ounces, you won't be able to stop that.
Is that isn't that the standard that there is no serving in America that we will appreciate, respect, or acknowledge that's less than 2 ounces?
No.
Right? Because they will say, serving size for some chicken breast steak, 4 to 8 ounces.
Come on.
2 ounces. If you offer me 2 ounces of everything, I really think you're being disrespectful.
That part.
Like, I think you're being disrespectful on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I've ever had a piece of cake that was 2 ounces. Ever.
Yeah, why?
Ever.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Cake or pie? What's the minimum number for a respectful piece of pie or cake?
Not 2 ounces. I don't know.
Text line, what is the standard for standard cake size? Respectable cake size. And what is your personal range? Because, so Austin, looking at that cake, 24 ounces, and you get to cut it in Austin Orman size. How many slices of the 20? 8?
I think that
8?
I think you cut it into 8.
6? 8 slices?
So if I look at like my family, right? I've got mom, dad, 2 brothers, wife, and me.
So obviously, 6 is the general cut anyway.
Right. Probably.
Right?
Maybe you could cut this into 8. You could talk me into cutting it into 8, but I'm not just stopping at one slice if I cut it into 8.
Bigger question. That is a round cake.
It is a round cake.
That is a round cake. What is the protocol to cut that cake? Are you cutting size specific, or do you cut it in half and then cut it into slice specific? What's the Orman household protocol for a round? So it's a round pound cake, round chocolate cake. Do you cut it in half and then slice, or are you a slicer and you get what you get?
We are a family that asks how much you think it, and then you eyeball it. That's how we do it, because my slice is not the same as my mom's slice. It shouldn't be.
Well, your mom has constantly, since your birth, made concessions for you in her slice.
She has.
Your mom, since you were born, your mother has never sliced anything the way she sliced it before you. Before you existed. Every mom out there in the car is nodding their head right now because they've never, their college sorority mom sliced cake different than mom of 2 mom. They're never the same again.
Fair enough.
They're never the same again. So
no, we go proportional.
Half, then proportion, or proportion.
Well, eyeball it, right? How much do I think I want? What looks good to me? Kind of first come, first serve. But the difference then is if it's not a round cake, if it's bars, something like that, that's in a pan, then you cut it in your thirds and then keep going down the line.
Okay, so I get in these moods, and I've had. Let me just be clear to say, I'm in a different place today than I had planned to be. I just got some news. I lost my aunt just a few hours ago.
Sorry to hear that.
And I'm a little bit, but I want to tribute her because she had the greatest laugh I've ever heard. And she loved as loud and as hard as any woman that I've ever known. And she taught me a lot about sports, took me to my first Mets game. Right, I would spend my summers in New Jersey.
That Willie Mays finished with the Mets. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, no, there's a whole list to the ones that y'all forgot yesterday. I was disappointed in the list, quite frankly.
Well, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm old head, but yeah, like it's a thing. So I think it's a thing that I'm going to ask you to make one more run and tell me how many of those delicious round Southern bourbon pecan cakes are in that box, because I want to make people smile today. I'm going to put these out. You can simply, and if you haven't had this cake, or if you have not had a cake from Beatrice Bakery, this is a wonderful introduction to the world of yum. That's the tag for Beatrice Bakery is welcome to our world of yum. And there are so many incredible delights, but this was a box that was dropped off. Austin is running back and forth trying to let me know how many of these delicious delectables we can give away. How many? What's the number?
We got this one in studio and 4 more, bringing us to a total of 5.
Okay, so in this segment, just for this segment, you can tell me that you simply must have and read the Southern
bourbon
pecan cake.
And it is pecan, not pecan.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Listen, those are fighting words. Those are fighting words from folks, because you have to understand that different regions of the country own possession of said word. And pecan, sir. But those words belong together. Because if you tell me that if you're just eating the nut itself and you said pecan, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But if you are consuming in large volume in another item, if that has been combined in any other way with any other thing, sir, pecan. So if you want said cake, text in 402-464-5685. And this first cake is yours. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're going to give away 5 cakes. We have 6 segments. Give away 5 cakes. So tell me on the text line, and it starts now. Now. So you can text in and let us know that you would like said cake, and it will be left here at 93.7 The Ticket. You have to come by and get it. And we will hold it until Monday, because I know Monday at lunch, Big B, you got there first. Big B got there first. Well done. So text in a name that we can leave it under.
Government name.
Yeah, you need a government name to do that. And we will give away more of those cakes over the course of this 2 hours.
That's and 4 more to go.
Yeah, we have 4 more to go. And I'll say this. You ready? And they should know by now to be sharp and be prepared. We were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right? This is a franchise that I've known, and a lot of Bucs fans either came in pre-Brady, post-Brady. You are either pre-Brady Bucs fan or post-Brady Bucs fan. Here's the question. For cake number 2, name the first player drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh.
Ever. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you got to get it right. You can't give me a close. Shame on you. Say that it's, listen. Yeah. The name. Yeah. Okay. Pecan pie. You almost got in trouble. And you should get one of these pies if that's going to be your name on our text line. Yes, in fact, it was. And then, it should have been bonus points for this one. Austin, tell me why I should give bonus points for the first name of said player. Why should I give a bonus point, a bonus cake for the first name of said player?
I feel like I should know this, but I'm not picking up what you're putting down, DP.
Because the legend was of the incredible Selman brothers.
Yeah.
There was Leroy. But if you were a Bucs fan or a Sooners fan, you identified them as Dewey and Louie, the Selman brothers. So Leroy was the first pick.
Indeed.
But if you, right? So if you did, who was the first one in there? 4661. Put it in as Leroy.
Pecan pie.
Well, he got the first.
He got one. Then yes, 46. But he spelled it wrong.
He actually.
So
you have to remember that these were Southern folks. These are country folks. let me say that differently. Country folks. And there is Leroy, which is my older brother's name is Leroy. L-E, capital R. So capital L-E, capital R-O-Y. But if you are country, if your people were country, they spelled it out and it was Lee, L-E-E, space capital ROY. It was Leroy, Dewey, and Louie, the Selman brothers. And to be clear, still the greatest defensive lineman in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history. That includes Sapp and company. Everybody says none of them, having watched them all, none of them is on par with Leroy Selman. He was a bad dude. He was 063 was a bad dude. All right, so we'll take a break. That's three.
That's three.
So we have two more to give away. I will have another trivia question for you when you come back, and we'll give away another one. As a matter of fact, then we'll give away one of those. It's strawberry daiquiri. That's the one that's there.
Let's check during the break. I know we have pina colada.
Pina colada. So we'll give away for your weekend, and I will tell you what's best for this. If you have some vanilla ice cream in your refrigerator and it needs some love, it needs pairing, it needs something of value, this cake that we're about to give away is it. So we'll throw it a break. DP, Austin Norman, Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sand Hills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln. Presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Join us Friday, January 10th as the Lincoln Stars host USA Hockey National Team Development Program for Star Wars Night at the Ice Box. It's the first of two games this weekend, January 10th and 11th, as the Stars take on the U7 teams in a pair of games at the Ice Box. Don't forget to join us on Saturday as well, as it's Buddy Pass Night in the capital city. Tickets for both games are available for purchase now, and you can head over to LincolnStars.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Since discovering Limitless Mail, thousands of men have changed their lives. They've experienced more energy, sharper thinking, fat loss, muscle gain, and a boost in sex appeal. Men are loving life again, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Wives, kids, even coworkers are seeing the difference. Limitless Mail is a guy changer. We provide custom treatment plans to ensure both safety and maximum benefits. Don't settle for cookie-cutter solutions. Limitless Mail is the powerhouse in men's health. Schedule your free consult.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Old School on a Friday. And again, we said we were going to make some smiles today. And every reason, I mean, every day should be, but some days it just calls to you a little bit more loudly as you go into your weekend. It might be nice if you're in the car and you want something special to add to your weekend. You've got a Friday dinner, or folks stopping by Saturday, or you want to take something in the house and make people smile. A cake from Beatrice Bakery would be a wonderful way to do that. And we have this delicacy is an absolute joy. Pina colada cake. Pina colada.
If you like pina colada.
You know the singer of that song?
Come
on, Austin. Come on, Austin. Work it out. Work it out. Work it out.
What little intelligence I have is escaping me at this point, DP.
Oh, look, I'm going to come back to it. Okay, well, the textures will help you with that. We'll give away a cake for people to help Austin when he smacks his forehead from not knowing.
Is it some?
It is a person of known. Like it. Yeah, you're not going to go.
Which is why it's even more disappointing.
Yeah, if you like pina coladas and walks in the rain. There was I just remember it was one of our beach songs through that year, and of course,
One-Eyed Ray, Rupert Holmes. There it is. There it is. Yep,
One-Eyed Ray bailed you out. Husker J gets the cake though. He put both names in there. Rupert Holmes. Quality. But I have another cake. And normally I would say this to our friends, that if you're going to dive into the trivia pool, that you be honorable and not Google the answer. Right? Like, shout it if you know it. If you don't know it, it's okay to Google it just for knowledge's sake. But if we give a trivia question and you know the answer, go ahead and shout it out. But if you don't know it, Google it, but don't put it on the text line like you I
did that.
I knew. I'm a baller. I knew. So don't do that. But here's one for you. Because playing in this wild card weekend, in Baltimore, in Baltimore that it's an old black and purple blue division matchup. Episode number 3 in the season, right? They know each other. They're comfortable. They're familiar. The trivia question for the cake is this. Who was the first player ever drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Not their first round pick in last year's draft. Not that. First player ever.
First player ever drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And
legendary name.
Yeah, and I can say this, that I didn't know the answer. And so I know it was not you. It was not you.
Cubsker, don't even say it was you either. I know you're listening.
Yeah,
don't
I know
do
it was not you. It was not you. But it is fantastic. It is fantastic. No, it was not Jay Foreman. It was not Chuck Foreman. and 53, I know that you Googled that. Because my Steeler, my family is in partials, right? A third of them Commander fans, diehard all the way through. Most of the in-laws are Cowboys fans. Don't know why that worked. All of my sisters had terrible taste and all married. They really did. They all married Cowboys fans. So it makes the holidays
tough.
It's a thing. But that's on my mother's side. On my father's side, they're all Steeler fans. They're all Steeler fans. And so, Money G, answer me the question. Did you know this or did you Google this? And be honest with me. Be honest with me. Because Austin had to Google.
Yeah, I would have no idea.
Right.
It's a name you've heard before.
It's a name you've absolutely heard before. And I think
you probably hated this guy in high school.
Somebody needs to meme this. Like this guy's head onto a Steelers jersey.
Yeah.
But with the thing that he is known for.
Right.
Like, that needs to be done.
I may or may not have some time on the board for high school basketball tonight, so stay tuned.
So, Money G, tell me, did you know that or did you Google that? Yeah, you go down the rabbit hole. You go down the rabbit hole, 100%. Yeah, William Shakespeare.
Billy Shakes
from Notre Dame. A fullback from Notre Dame. William Shakespeare was the first player drafted.
Money G in Kansas, Steelers fan. How can't you forget Shakespeare as a football player?
Well, Notre Dame never talks about him. And if Notre Dame doesn't talk about you, but think about that. I don't know that there's any Notre Dame first-round pick that is less talked about than William Shakespeare. Think about that.
Let's fire up the Google machine.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there is a first round, especially a first pick. And in their inaugural year, I don't know where they drafted in the order.
How often have you talked about Creighton Miller?
Not never.
John Yoniker?
No.
Frank Zizmansky?
Yes.
Okay. Frank Danswitz?
No.
Johnny Lujak?
Yes.
Okay. Emil Sitko?
Yes.
Let's just see here.
One-eyed Ray, just for that response, you get a cake. That's a spectacular answer.
Frank Vericione?
I actually met a family member of his in Virginia.
George Izzo?
Yes.
Okay.
One-eyed Ray texts in this: to draft or not to draft? That was the question. Exceptional.
That's pretty good.
Exceptional.
Pretty good.
Well done. Well done. Well done. And on the other side, for a cake. Now remember that this franchise has a unique history. And again, I'm going to ask that if you don't know it, Google it to know it, not to answer the question in the trivia. But who was the first player in their new history? Who was the first player drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, the opponent to Pittsburgh Steelers this week? Who was the first player? Jay Foreman loves him, talks about him constantly. He said Brendan Sty was the first Husker drafted by the Steelers, which seems odd to me as well. That doesn't. Right?
Weird.
Can you Google that? That seems weird to me that no Steeler was that the Steelers didn't draft any of the Huskers before Brendan Sty. That's amazing. Maybe in the first round, but I can't imagine that he was the first Husker. I would think that he may have been the first rounder that was a Husker. But who was the question? The trivia question is who was the first player drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, the expansion Baltimore Ravens, brand new.
Oh yeah, that is very not true. Before Brendan Sty, the Steelers drafted Marvin Crenshaw, Stan Hagner, Wonder Mons, Mark Dufresne, Mark Benning, and Richard Bell.
So before Brendan Sty, he was just the first rounder. I would think.
Brendan Sty was not even a first rounder; he was a third rounder.
He's a third rounder. So there we go.
Then here's an interesting list of names of Huskers drafted by the Steelers: Dante Jones, Baron Miles, Chad Kelsey, Chris Brown, Keith Williams, Carlos Davis.
So they and here's the thing: different teams, especially different GMs and different coaches, fall in love with players from certain programs. What? This is one I'll ask you: what NFL team has drafted the most Huskers? Right. Interesting.
There's a pretty good list of Saints.
Okay. We will go to break. You have until we come back to win a cake from Beatrice Bakery. Again, what NFL team has drafted the most?
Oh, there's an obvious answer right now.
There we go. We'll get that answer. Austin Orman, DP, the ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Make the 2025 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. 84th and Havelock in Lincoln. Presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old school on a Friday, Austin Orman and myself, we are giving away cake, but we're making you think for it. And I asked the question before the break, what NFL team have drafted the most Huskers? The most. And Austin, you came up with an answer for that.
I believe through the research and math, the answer is the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers is really Nebraska's team. It's not Kansas City. It's not Denver. It's not Chicago.
The first Green Bay Packers draft pick of a Nebraska Cornhusker, Bernie Scher, in 1936.
But Bernie was the second Husker drafted in 1937. Who was the first? Cake. Who was the first?
And
that was the first Husker ever drafted.
Then who is not the most recent Husker who was drafted by Green Bay? I think we all know that one, just a couple years ago.
Yep.
Before the player drafted in 2022, who is the most recent Husker picked by Green Bay?
The Omaha Nighthawks. The Omaha Nighthawks being Nebraska's team. Yeah. And it is funny too. My friend George Foster, who played for the Lions and played for the Nighthawks, speaks in such absolute glowing terms of his time with the Nighthawks. He just said it was fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes, we do have the answer for that.
There we go.
Trivia question.
There we go.
Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Brandon Jackson.
Got it. Okay. You get cake. You get cake for that. That's a doozy. Nobody answered the Baltimore Ravens one. Austin, give them the answer. Who was the Ravens?
I would have guessed this one. I didn't know for sure. Jonathan Ogden.
Yeah, big swim. He was a dude, man. He is a dude still. So I actually saw him play basketball in high school. Now, if you want to imagine a frightening thing, imagine Jonathan Ogden at 6'8", 280 pounds, flying down the floor for the one-handed tomahawk jam in a high school gym that just, quite frankly, felt like the walls were coming down. He played.
Well, he's probably strong enough to take the walls down.
Yeah, he graduated. So we knew he was a star football player. We knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the basketball thing, he was at St. Albans High School in Alexandria, Virginia. And to see a guy of that size move that way, there are two guys that moved much more agile than their size would say. Jonathan Ogden is one of those players. The other was a guy that was in Virginia playing. He played football, but he was playing defensive end and he was playing tight end. You could imagine him as a defensive end because that's what he was in the NFL for. But if you can imagine 6'5", 265-pound Jonathan Allen from Alabama and from the Commanders, running downfield on an out pattern and a 170-pound corner has to make a business decision.
That is me making that business decision.
Making a business decision about, quite frankly, how this could work out. Right? And you could see the process. And there are times when I just laughed because it was just unfair. Unfair. Like, they had in a tight end screen. And imagine Ogden chipping and then flaring towards the numbers. And they would bring in these two hammers of offensive linemen downhill. And to say that they were all 250 plus, and these corners, I mean, you were 170, 180 pounds.
You're getting engulfed.
Oh, and it just wasn't fair. Like, it wasn't fair. Because, okay, what do you do as the first man there? And you just happen to be the corner. Like, you have to make a business decision. Then, first of all, I got to run through these two big 270-pound dudes. I got to pick one of them, or I have to avoid them both.
Because they both want me.
Right? And then,
I want neither of them.
Right? I want no part of this. This is not a part of the contract. This is not part of the agreement. And often what you would find on films, especially the better teams, they would tell their corners to take on the first blocker. Again, fine in theory.
Right.
Fine in theory. But
how do you get your guys to do that when the lights are bright and you actually see that 250 pounds coming at you?
You could hear them dudes. And then to know that, man, my girlfriend's here. The moment's too big. I'm not an athlete. Like, you go through the whole Mr. Go 30, all the check, like, this is a bad thing. I've got exams on Monday.
Wait, maybe I should take the block out. I won't have to go to exams on Monday.
Mom and Dad will have chores for me this weekend. So you just go, this isn't good. This isn't good. Because then, let's just say the two bigs decided to go big on big, right? That he's going to find, one's going to crack down inside and find a defensive end that maybe floated into the action. Maybe an outside linebacker coming down here, or maybe a safety at a whopping 190.
Ooh.
Right? Coming downhill to get into space. But then if they did their jobs and they were great teammates, they have done you the greatest disservice that they could ever do you. Because now it's just you and Jonathan Allen. And it was never pretty. You can go find those high school tapes. It was never pretty. It was unfair. It was almost social suicide.
Dang.
To see these corners. And this is pretty good football. 6A football in Virginia, Northern Virginia. But 180-pound cornerback. No.
Who might be looking at UVA for a different reason than UVA is looking at him.
I'm pretty sure that Jonathan Allen on the edge turned a lot of folks into baseball players. He created a lot of, you know what? At 175 pounds, I'm going to go play third base. That's what I'm going to go play shortstop for somebody. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Hey, coach, you need a scooter? You need a little dude at second base? I got you.
I'm here. Pick me.
Pick me.
Don't make me go back to the football thing. I'm not going to do it.
There were a lot of business decisions, I got to tell you. All right, we're toward the break. We'll come back. Austin, we'll get into, there's two phases of this thing. One, I want to ask some questions about NIL. And then I want to ask you questions about tonight. Tonight. What do you have?
We also have Jay Foreman tonight. Jay's online.
Got it. He's online.
He's online.
Jay's a perfect one.
He's got thoughts.
Okay. All right. We'll bring him in. The Hall of Famers coming in. Top of the hour. Old school.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in Hour 2 of Old School, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School, like I said, brought to you by Mercado. I'm in studio with DP, but let's bring him in, Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay, what's good? How you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, my octoroons.
Homie, Izzle.
Hey, that's right. Hey, you know how it is. Sometimes you got to be like that, man. How you guys doing?
Oh, we've had the time. I asked the trivia question of who the first draft pick was for the Pittsburgh Steelers in history, and we got a name that it turns out that their very first draft pick was a fullback from Notre Dame named William Shakespeare.
Ooh, I mean that's that's pretty dang good, man. When you think about it,
Notre Dame's finest, William Shakespeare.
Well, I don't think the name fits Pittsburgh, but the name fits being the first pick, for an NFL draft pick. But
I followed that up, Jay, and I think you get the answer to. I think you'll get this one. Who was since they're playing? We're going through teams who were playing in the wild card weekend. We started with Tampa, and a lot of people didn't know the Dewey and Louis Selman brothers, and I had to explain that. But then it came down to who was the first pick. And not for the Baltimore Colts, but for the Baltimore Ravens. And I said it's one of your favorite dudes to talk about.
Well, that's Jonathan Ogden, right?
Yes, sir. That's why he's the Hall of Famer.
Right. It was it was Jonathan Ogden. And then they got Ray Lewis like on a humbug, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's when the legend of Ozzie Newsome expanded, was that he pulled that off.
Well, you can retire. You can retire when you go 2 for 2 on first ballot Hall of Famers.
Hey, man.
Hey, I don't need to do anything. It's rather draft them two versus like Tony Mandridge and Mike Mamula.
Woo, wee.
Hey, but to be honest with you, when you everybody's quick to label guys a bust, and I think I only view guys as being a bust if you actually don't. There's guys that don't try. I think. With Tony Mandridge, it was unrealistic expectations because you had the likes of Jonathan Ogden coming behind him, where people were wondering if he was going to be able to handle NFL speed. And then I think then you had guys like Mike Mamula, who I think it was a system, where they didn't let him just do what he did best. And then also I think when guys get injured, I don't ever put a bust on guys when they get injured. I think the guys, if you look at, and it's hard to even say like a Jamarcus Russell, because I mean. The effort definitely was not there. Look, when you go from 240 to 280, I think when you look at yourself every day and you start to escalate on the scale, I think that's more of a choice. But when the Raiders organization at that point in time was like attend practice, when you see fit, and you don't have any veteran leadership, is that the best situation for him, even though that they drafted him because he could throw the ball 70 yards from his knees, and they only started 8 games ever in his whole career.
Yep.
So was he really truly number 1 pick overall worthy? And then also let's not forget Al Davis would pick you number 1 and then not want to pay you, which is the weirdest. Like, exactly what you have to do, and he's the only guy holding out when he should be the first guy signed. So you don't see that anymore. So, yeah, Jonathan Ogden, man, that was a big dude, man. That was a big brother, man. And you want to hear a funny story about Jonathan Ogden? We've had one of my best friends from the NFL. His name is Troy Evans, and he's been on. He was a Super Bowl champion with the New Orleans Saints. And when I got traded to Houston, he was there. We didn't even have lockers. DP, living in Houston.
Yep.
When the Texans were first there, we used to. Our weight room was at the basement of the Astrodome, which was, you would see you'd see some critters down there. But and so we were all over the place, and Troy was there, and Troy was mainly a special teams player, but he was a great dude, man, and tough as nails. Played at University of Cincinnati, had a chip on his shoulder because Ohio State didn't think he was good enough. So I'll never forget this, man. We're playing the Ravens, and when you play the Ravens, you got to be ready to play. That's the AFC North. It's a white knuckle game. So Troy's playing on special teams and punt team, and I'm on punt team as well. And they kind of did a punt return. It wasn't a called, like reverse field punt. Just happened to return her reverse field. Troy got peeled back on and got hit. And he didn't get hit hard because he just bounced right back up. He said that Jonathan Ogden looked, when he looked up, there was Jonathan Ogden. Jonathan Ogden was like, "You got knocked, what the hell out?" And he's like, "But you got up though, so you pretty tough." And Troy told me that after the game, I was dying. It's because looking up at any player after you get crackback blocked on is one thing. Another thing is when he's about 7 feet tall and about 320 pounds and one of the best guys of all time. So. But Jonathan Ogden was a good dude, man, and still is a good dude. My mom lives in Vegas, so the few times that I get to go down and see her, it just seems by chance I always see him in the airport. And the most unassuming dude that would throw you at the club. I mean, I think he's got like 3 or 4 kids, and the last time I saw him, it was an early flight. He was going somewhere and I was going somewhere, so I just said what's up and kept it moving. But he had one on the shoulder, pushing the stroller, so he's definitely. In the family life and the dad life.
Jay, let me ask you this because this is like a perfect situation. If there's a Mount Rushmore for left tackles, Ogden's on it, Munoz is on it.
Yeah.
Who's the other two?
Well, I mean, it's all relative based on the era, but Walter Jones was a dude who doesn't get a lot of credit because of playing in Seattle. I mean, he was, he might have been the best athlete for a big dude like that. Hardly, so Walter Jones, Orlando Pace, I think those two I just mentioned previous, I would put a little bit, ahead of him, but that's just, those are franchise left tackles. And then you think of the guys like, even like, Ron Yeri was a dude that played with my dad, and those type of guys that played back then. Willie Rofe was a outstanding. Big right. Willie was a crazy athlete and stupid good. So, back then, and there's some guys now that, Joe Thomas was just a dancing bear, just kind of, long and lean there. I don't think hardly ever gave up a sack. You got him. You're thinking of guys of that era, and Joe Thomas came in right when I was kind of, on the way out. There were some great ones out there, and they definitely held it down. They took it as a honor of shutting you down, and majority of those guys did. I mean, you think of a guy like Richmond Webb who played forever, who had, I remember Bruce Smith always talking about getting ready. First of all, I know we got playoffs coming up, and I know Raph is going to be upset at we knock off, the Broncos up there in Buffalo. But when you play against teams like Denver or like in my case, when we used to play the Dolphins, it's a different type of work week, DP. And the thing is, it's a different type of work week in the sense of, it's more intense. It's more of a college, atmosphere, like when we used to play Colorado. And Bruce Smith against Richmond Webb, if people that listen on the ticket and on the text line, if you just get bored, whether you're on the porcelain throne, just Google Bruce Smith against Richmond Webb. They used to go at it. I mean, I'm talking about go at it and get the best out of each other, but a ton of respect. And so he's a guy, when you think about left tackle, I think he went to a Texas school. I don't think he went to Texas, University of Texas, but I think he went to either A&M or somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he played for like 15, 16 years, dude.
So Jay, so let's reset the Mount Rushmore. There's nobody on there, but I want to add to it a couple of names that we haven't even mentioned, right? That Trent Williams deserves.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just going off who I saw.
Art Shell.
Oh yeah.
Who belongs to? In my mind, yeah, they did add Walter Jones. They had him at 6. Munoz.
Yeah.
Orlando Pace.
For sure. Art Shell, Jackie Slater, those guys.
Lomas Brown, Jackie Slater. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to play against those guys, obviously. So I was just going off guys that I saw in action. But let me tell you something, man. That brother Trent Williams is the bad. Hey, I'm telling you right now, he might not be. You know what? I'll just say it. He gets a couple more years of playing like he's the best of all time. Yeah. That's a bad dude, man. And you know what? A lot of times, DP, and you know this, a lot of times those big dudes don't play with attitude. My man is straight gangster with it. I mean, and he's an excellent basketball player, and he is mean, and he plays with the type of attitude that you need. And he's probably, at least the guys that I've been able to see, you know, when I kind of could see what it looks like, he's the best of all time. And that's a great, at least for me, a great thing that I'm saying about him, because I've seen some great dudes. I mean, heck, I played against, Tony Baselli, before he, had the injuries, that just kind of derailed his career. So, that's a great accomplishment for him, how good
and
he is.
I do want to say that, one, you identify who you play against, but there's a left tackle that played against the greatest defensive player to ever live, and it changed the way football was played and how it was drafted. But if we don't start giving Joe Jacoby,
oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
If we don't start giving Jacoby flowers, shame on us all, because to make running the football sexy, right?
Yeah.
In the day of the past happy days of the NFL, Joe Jacoby had to man up on LT, and even in the battle, they brought Donnie Warren to help, but he changed. I mean, Blindside the movie doesn't exist without what happened.
Yeah, Joe Jacoby was a dude, and I didn't get to play against him, obviously, but I got to watch him all the time because when I was a little kid, growing up, in Frederick, Maryland, we used to always watch, when the Redskins at the time would have inter-squad scrimmage during training camp. I used to look forward to it against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
So I used to see Joe Jacoby, and what people don't understand now, they got NFL Network and all that stuff, and it's obviously on the internet all the time. But back in Frederick, they would take the shows off, so they would take the soap operas or whatever they my grandma used to watch them, and they would have to read what happened. They would play that live on the the main channels.
Right? Was it Latrobe or what was it?
Yeah, it was a Latrobe, but they would play it though. They would show the scrimmage, they would show the practices, so it was pretty special. And sometimes I think my dad fights this a little bit as well. Since we're talking on it, we'll dive into the game tonight. Is like sometimes like you can be a really, really great player on some great teams, and you can get overlooked, which is crazy when you think about Joe Jacoby and you look at my dad, Chuck Foreman. Both of them should, obviously be in the Hall of Fame. You think about a Steve Jordan, who had a great influence on me in a young part of my life. He has, if you look at his numbers, there's not a big difference between, the time that he played and a Shannon Sharp and their the way that they were producing versus him when you weren't passing the ball at the rate, even like when, Shannon Sharp and those guys were. So, the Hall of Fame process and the guys that are kind of, I wouldn't say, turn nose up at, but I think it realistically, you got to understand it. You don't get a name of the Hogs that's still popular, even though they're Commanders now, without all 5 of those guys being, Hall of Fame worthy, but more importantly, made a big athletic left tackle that, made it, like you said, sexy, but then also it was like not the norm. You know what I'm saying? It was he could do both, and hopefully, like a lot of other players, they get their just due here, in due time, while they can enjoy it.
It was interesting times. I mean, Russ was the only member of the Hogs who got in the Hall of Fame. Bosco didn't get in. Rollo didn't get in, but also remember they went and got Jim Lachey after
Right after Joe Jacoby, and they had Mark May, and they had the McKenzie brother. I mean, then I think you had Mark Schlereth, who was just a guy that ended up parlaying to playing in Denver forever.
Yep.
Let alone some of the other guys, and that's where look, man, you never want to say one guy makes it because they go and like coach or something, but you think of like Russ Grimm getting in, but he goes and he's a great offensive line coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you're the Pittsburgh Steeler. This is one thing I'll say, and I found this out, is the Pittsburgh Steeler writers and it's writers, not just one.
Yeah.
They hold a lot of weight. So once you become part of their family, you get in, and then obviously think of like Mike Munchak, he gets in, and stuff like that. So Joe Jacoby is just kind of just living his life. And so you need some more guys to kind of get the guys that deserve to be in, because you don't want it to be a thing like Mick Tingelhoff a few years ago, and then he passed away shortly afterwards. That's if you can get in year whatever he got in, I'm sure he could have got in 2 or 3 years prior, because his playing career was his playing career long before that.
Yep. I mean, it's beautiful stuff to go back but that's why we're old school. We can go back.
Yeah, well, either that or we're getting old. Yeah, I mean, which is a little bit. I would say, I'd like to say I'm aging gracefully, even though it seems like it's going a lot faster. But I'm gonna tell you this, DP, and I will never, ever in my life pick Penn State to do anything but besides let me down ever again in my life. I'm just being dead serious, man. And I'm not, and you can't blame James Franklin.
Nope.
Because I think
they're trying. They're trying.
And it's look, man, to be honest with you, they kind of they coach, or I felt like he coached a great game. I think he did the things and eliminated a lot of the things they could have been successful to like, special teams and stuff like that. Whoever, Drew Aller, look, I think he is who he is. And for him, when you think about it, sometimes you can think about the end game before you get there. And sometimes I think these guys that come in with a lot of this hype, right? He's a big, strong, good-looking quarterback, can throw without any pads on, and gets out there in the lights. And bro, like you can't throw a stop route, not one. This is when I knew he was in trouble. I think it was a third down, a crucial one where you can extend the drive. He threw it to their itty bitty little slot receiver that was going up against a safety, and he had Warren one-on-one against Notre Dame's itty bitty corner. So you throw it to the big guy when you need big yards, especially when the body. You don't need separation when you got a 6'7" Rob Gronkowski type tight end going against a slot corner. It's a process of elimination or doing the easy things. And so Penn State is punching. That was their chance. And it probably hurts a little bit more because they extended their season to get to the point, and they probably feel like they let one go away. But you got to give Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame a lot of credit. They looked dead in the water going into halftime. That field goal helped them out. But I think it's the coach, and I think I said this, either a day or two ago. Marcus Freeman's, the Deion Sanders and all that stuff, the Eddie Georges and all these guys that are, getting involved in the coach, Warren Sapp's, that you're able to speak another language. And for a coach to go in there, look, DP, you know this, they didn't change a whole bunch of plays. They did not. They changed their mentality. And when you can speak the language and these guys and you're invested in them, that's what happens. And they were able to pull it out, and they had a little bit more staying power. And a little bit of luck, but then also you make your own luck, make some plays. And one thing I'll say about them is the pass interference, again, the triple coverage, that's probably a little suspect, right? Mm-hmm. But they kept competing, and when they looked like they could have, been dead in the water, they made a play, and then they finished it out when they got another chance. So full 60 minutes is sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, that's why I was real specific about, what, it's just going to be that kind of game. A slap fight, and they were going to go through with the last person that could slap would win it. Well, I mean, you go back and forth, right?
Yeah. Well, they're very fitting. It's down in Miami, and you know where the slap fights actually started.
right. Like
the Tootsies or whatever it was called, right?
Like it's just set up. And then my thing for Aller was this. that in a critical moment would he try to do too much rather than doing the base thing. And listen, if you go back and watch that replay of the final interception, he has, in basic read, he has 2 wide open outlets. If he just takes the layup in a non-critical down, this wasn't 4th down. He could throw this one away, but he had 2 open winds directly in front of him to the pressure if he just simply chooses that. But no, it looked like he had made his decision to do the tough thing instead of, like, let me make this play right here that is a play, instead of making the smart play, which was take an 8-yard throw wide open to either of his outlets. That's he's 8 yards and you get to load up again and it's still your ball. And you go back and watch the play, Jay. I'm literally looking at the top half of the screen and I'm going, go, if you feel pressure, throw the pressure. Like, that's the rule. And if you tell me that, it's sitting right in an open window and both of those outlets were open.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a reason to do it. I know he said he was trying to throw it in the ground. Bro, first of all, physics is not going to allow you to do that. To look left, hold the ball, throw it back right with enough control, and you haven't been able to hit the broadside of a barn all night. Don't try to do something that you don't need to do. It just sometimes in big moments in the quarterback position that affects the game, and you need somebody that has to have a steady head, just like a coach. If you would have called a bad play there, you're like pressure, it affects everybody. And so he's got to sit on that and try to figure out a way to bounce back from it. He's gonna, they should be bringing in a lot of competition for him because he's got to work through it, and it's a lot of scar damage in that program from that because majority of the time being in when they had divisions, you got to beat Michigan and Ohio State, and so it was always set up for you to not have a chance to get to the Big Ten championship. Well, things set up well for you, and then you still didn't do it, even after you lost 2 games. And the last one that you lost prior to last night was in the Big Ten championship. So, a lot to deal with. There's a lot of pressure, and you get to these games, and it gets down to, 1 or 2 possession, 1 or 2 plays. It definitely separates the guys that, can operate under those type of circumstances. And it's not easy, but at that position and the way he's been at, you'd like to think that he would have, lived to fight another day. And those are some of the things that if I'm a quarterback just watching that game, I'm not looking at, I'm looking at that play like you described it, but I'm looking at the reason or the why his game was like that all game long. Because I think you can learn more out of those 3 3/4 quarters of the game versus just focusing on the low hanging fruit. And so if I'm the quarterback for Ohio State and Texas, I'm glad I got to play on Friday because I got to see, some of the mistakes that possibly could, rear its ugly head. Again, for me, here later on the night. And so I would like to think that the quarterback battle tonight would be a little bit more cleaner and the game will be a lot more explosive. But also that doesn't mean that it wasn't a good football game last night. I think it was highly competitive, just very disappointing to win a game like that or lose a game like that. But Notre Dame, they get to do something that nobody expected them to do. And with the coach, they never expected to be in a national title game. You got to think Brian Kelly pretty much said Notre Dame didn't give him a chance to be a champion. And Marcus Freeman in very short time, I think 3 years essentially, has got him right on the doorstep. And so, we'll see what happens here in another week or so.
And a year ago or going into the season, there was a large faction of people who wanted him fired.
Right. Well, I'm sure there's guys that were, on national networks that probably wanted him fired. And I'm sure there's alumni that wanted him fired. And so I'm sure that they're all eating crow. But it's going down because Notre Dame's a wine drinking, very expensive wine drinking alumnus. And they're patiently waiting to see who, wins the night between Texas and Ohio State. And, I think I think Ohio State should win. I think they're the better team. And sometimes that's a little bit, those are harder. You got to play with a chip on your shoulder. But, Texas has the ability to start fast. And I think, one of the things you have to do when you're on a mission, you have to make sure that you focus and you are going out there and playing together and all the things that you've done the first couple games. You just got to continue to do it because that eventually, if you play up to your capabilities, Texas will break. And And so once you get to that point, you guys just got to make sure you break them, and and finish out the job.
It is interesting that, again, with Penn State being out, that the Big Ten now has a different concern, not having a team in the championship.
Yeah, you got two. The odds are you at least gonna get one. So, Notre Dame's more of a Big Ten team. I mean, whether they hold they holding out.
And here's the thing: the Big Ten and the SEC have that issue tonight because one of those conferences is
it's
going
gonna
to
be
a lot of crow tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I guess it's the first one. First 12-team playoff, and possibly SEC is not there. But I will say, I mean, if Ohio State should win, I would also say that the Big Ten probably had a better year, top to bottom. So they would, if anybody deserves, I would say a conference to get in, it'd be the Big Ten. But that's why they play the games.
Feinbaum is for literally, he's rubbing the middle of his scalp right now.
Who is?
Paul Feinbaum. Feinbaum,
he's not even watching.
If Texas loses, he will have no hair tomorrow.
Is it a good offseason or a bad offseason for Paul Feinbaum if the SEC loses?
Both.
It's both, but then also he gets to turn the heat up on DeBoer because they're going to try to make it that he's a 2-and-out type of coach. If he doesn't turn that program around and get it to where it's looking a little bit a better representation between Nick Saban and his type of coaching style or in his type of production, definitely has to be on the forefront here, starting in, right now and obviously through spring and fall ball.
Tough deal all the way around.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, the coaching profession is no joke. You're highly compensated. There's no days off. And so, the best of the best will survive, but they just gotta, I mean, the things that have bit, Alabama this year are all controllable. And we've heard that before, right? Probably talked about it 10 times over. Showing up on time for Bama to meetings, doing the things you're supposed to do. Those are all controllable because it's not a talent thing. It's more or less, doing the things that have got you to the point where you're national prominence. And as much as they hated Jalen Milroe, and he probably, got a little bit over his skis where, you saw it where he was filming an NIL commercial before the game. They also realized that he's won a lot of games for him and quite frankly, got him into the national college football playoffs, not this year, but last year. So he's going to be missed as well, along with a couple first-round picks on defense and on offense.
No SEC in the championship game. That's what
is that who you pick? You picking Ohio State?
Well, that I had to stay true to it.
Yeah.
Right. But either way, one of those conferences has some explaining to do.
Yeah. Well, they, it was a foregone conclusion they were going to break off, but now they got broke off in the playoffs. So, I'm gonna pick. I know we got to go, but I'm gonna pick Ohio State. I think they're probably they're playing the best. And I think they have a little bit more left in the tank. I think Texas's offense is not as good as it was last year, obviously, when you got to lose a first-round pick and a couple guys on defense. So I'm going to pick Ohio State to be able to outlast them. But I think it's probably going to be the more exciting game. It's going to be in the mid-30s, low 40s, and a score 2 winner for Ohio State. So I'm thinking it's going to be I think it's going to be 38-27. 38-27. That's what I'm gonna get.
Not close. Not close. 2 scores.
But you know how that could be, DP. You could be there, then you kick. Right? Yeah. Is it whatever the painting looks like, or the score definitely doesn't mean what how you painted the picture. But I think they're gonna pull away at the end.
Jay says 38-27, but he hates Texas enough. He actually means 83-27.
Give it up.
Hey, listen. I hate Notre Dame with a passion. I've hated Notre Dame. Well, first of all, it was a family that I didn't get any food unless I started hating Notre Dame. So then I hate Notre Dame, and I hate that they won last night, and I hate James Franklin too. And I hate is too. Sorry, I just strongly dislike, and I don't like either one of the teams. But if the team's going to get in, I want to see a Big Ten team get in, and it's definitely horns down all day long, every day.
There it is. All right, Jay. What are you guys calling tonight? What are you doing?
It's Southeast against Southwest. So it's the old the wine and cheese against the Porsche driving, or the Porsches in the Maybach driving over there. I shouldn't be playing. I shouldn't be saying that about people. You know what I'm saying? It's the former rich kids against the wealthy kids over there, I guess. But they got two good basketball teams. A lot of the kids I know. Southwest is playing good, and Southeast has been on a heater last couple of years, making the state tournament. And you got two of the best kids in the state, Mikey Ogoye, whose brother plays at Iowa State, plays football, and you got Jackson Cruz, and you got Sanders twins as well, and then you got a couple other players for Lincoln Southeast. So we'll see, and should be a battle. It's always jam packed and an exciting call. Plus, all these kids know each other, and they've grown up playing with or against each other probably ever since they've been in third or fourth grade. So it's going to be a little. Let's see if it gets a little chippy tonight like it had last year.
Call starts what time?
7:15 tip-off. So we'll probably start at about 7, a little pregame with myself and Nick. And, it'll be a jam-packed house. We got to get over there probably in the next 20, 30 minutes because of the amount of people that attend these games.
Get on over there, Jay. Look forward to the call here on the ticket later on.
All right, man. See you guys next week.
There he is, the Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. It's going to be a busy Friday in Lincoln. So we'll go to break. Also, Norm and I will take you home when we come back to the ticket.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze and high around 32. Tonight, partly cloudy with light winds, overnight low near 15. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of sprinkles throughout the day, otherwise mainly cloudy with a high near 38. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. Or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovoma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different.
At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Join us Friday, January 10th as the Lincoln Stars host USA Hockey National Team Development Program for Star Wars Night at the Icebox. It's the first of 2 games this weekend, January 10th and 11th, as the Stars take on the U7 teams in a pair of games at the Icebox. Don't forget to join us on Saturday as well, as it's Buddy Pass Night in the capital city. Tickets for both games are available for purchase now, and you can head over to LincolnStars.com.
You're working out, eating right, living a healthy lifestyle, but your energy sucks. This could be a sign of low testosterone. Where do you turn for help? The answer is Limitless Male, the #1 testosterone clinic for men in the Midwest. Start by scheduling your free consult at one of our 13 clinics. If low T is the diagnosis, a custom treatment plan will get your energy back on track. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, old school on a Friday. Thomas and Lincoln says 33-27 Horns. Oh, Thomas, sir.
Thomas is our resident Texas guy, though. He's been on him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, and
at least he has one good team. He's also a Panthers fan.
Wow.
Sorry, Thomas.
That was hurtful. That was hurtful.
A mutual friend of the station called me today needing something, except the voicemail that this friend left was, just want to talk to you about the Colts playoff game. So I'm taking my hurt out on other people, and it's irresponsible of me. So
it's fair. It's a fair thing. I didn't say I didn't understand.
Well,
it's a thing. So let's go through this thing that is. And I know that the total points at 51.5. Buckeyes currently at a 6-point favorite, right? 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
So what they figure is
28, 23, 28 and a half to 20,
31, 30 to 21.
Yeah.
28, 21. Somewhere in that ballpark.
I buy it.
Right? They're winging back and forth. And I always wonder how they reach what they reach, but they're always right. So there's some math that's required that makes a 6 point difference from 52. Let's use 52 as the marker. I was trying to use 51, but it should be 52. So the marker is 52. And a 28-24 Texas loss gets it close, to take the Buckeyes and the over if it falls in that range. 29-23. So they it gets close, and the Buckeyes go for a 2, get the 2 to extend it to 6, and then Texas fails on the final drive.
Right.
Is that what we're leaning on?
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, I always pay attention to it that way because it always makes it more interesting to me to try to figure out what they think the scores are going to be and why. Where have you landed? Who's going to be the best player in the game tonight for you?
That is the interesting question, because Texas has some dudes, but I don't think any of them are going to be the dude. If there is going to be a dude, it's going to be someone on Texas's defensive line, I think, showing through against what's still a somewhat patchwork Ohio State offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Texas's run defense is legit, but I think, Scadaboo showed there are holes for a versatile type of piece. This is where Henderson has been so good. He's been their number one all year, but I do think that Judkins can do a little bit more, split out as a receiver. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Judkins follow a little bit of the Cam Scadaboo plan potentially. But again, if you're thinking players, not plays, don't you have to go with Jeremiah Smith? Isn't there another moment or two for him to take over this game in some dominating way?
It just seems to me like quarterbacks will decide the game. One will make, just look at last night. One will make the play and one won't.
I was going to ask Jay this too. How much of quarterbacking in college is making a play versus preventing a bad play?
Well, so it depends on the coach. Depends on the coach and what his philosophy is. My coaching philosophy was always do what the rules say we should do. I can live with the result if we made a smart decision.
If you stuck to the plan.
Right? Smart decision. In this particular case, read one. If you ask Aller what he was looking for, he was looking for a slug, an out and go outside with his tight end. That's what he was looking at. That was taken away early. So he jumped to a second read, which was down the seam, which was taken away. And as his eyes made the next progression, what it should have done, what he saw was a perimeter defender outside of a window that, to me as a coach, in every situation and circumstance, I have an outlet for you. I have an outlet that they cannot. If this defensive end comes, he's the outlet.
Yeah.
Take the running back on the flare. If he stays, right, if he stays inside and brings pressure, I have a receiver on the hash on that side that floats towards the middle into open space. So he goes to green, or I throw him to green. Or I take the outlet, which is the running back on to his right. And he ignored both of those. He went to the
late in cut across his body over the middle of the field.
late thing that goes going across the body, like that. Just don't do it. And then some, because then you ask, well, what did you see? Like, I need to know what you saw because you saw it wrong, right? But I need to know what you saw so I can fix that. Like,
or maybe you saw it right and tried to do it anyways.
Well, that's a whole different discussion. Was like, what did you see? If you saw something that wasn't there, and we call it, he's playing against ghosts, he's chasing ghosts.
Yeah,
there was nothing there to see. There was no reason to even look there.
Yeah,
there's no reason to look there because the easy thing, and again, if this was a critical down, if this is 3rd and 10 or 4th and whatever
in the game,
it makes sense to take a chance on the last play and you just go to overtime. But you have extra downs and extra time, and you don't need the home run.
No.
You didn't need to make that throw. You did not need to make that throw. There was a throw that you could have literally one more click, and he sees the outlets both clear. Like, you can go back to it, and it was painful to watch because it was just like, But, for a guy that throws it 53-9, he earned the right to make that mistake. Right? That wasn't, he wasn't having his best night. There's nothing you can do about that. He threw 2 balls earlier that shouldn't have been thrown.
Right.
But this was one that I would ask, because if you had corrected the previous mistakes, you fixed this mistake.
Right.
If you had that discussion, what did you see to make you throw into quadruple coverage? Well, I had my best player down there. I just thought he was just going to be better than the ball, which is a real thing, and it happens. But I would have said, hey, we're playing for a bid to the championship. Do the thing that we know how to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes that would have been pulling down and running with it. And even if Aller does nothing, they don't lose the game.
Right.
If he does,
not right there at least.
Well, no, but that's the thing, right? That throw directly led to them losing the game. If he did absolutely nothing and held on to the ball, we still play forward.
Right. I do want to give Notre Dame some credit on this as well. I mean, that's a tough interception to make, diving back across the middle of the field. But some of the reporting after the game was Notre Dame stayed confident that they were going to get one off of Drew Aller, and a heck of a call at the right time by Al Golden. That's a coverage that they were saying they didn't run all night. They saved because they felt like they could bait Aller into that in a critical situation, which tells you how college teams view him. And if I'm an NFL GM, I'm taking note of that. What do I have to work with this guy on? Or if he gets drafted into my division.
That's fixable because so to be clear, and I was having this discussion this morning with some folks in DC. Every round 1 quarterback has made a throw like that in their college career. That was a teaching moment for them. They all did it. They all did it. Every single one. Marino did it. Mahomes did it. Like they all like the thing. Mahomes, what are you doing? Never threw across the middle. Except for I'm Patrick Mahomes. I like throwing across the middle late. Let me do it. Every single one. And you can't make it critical of that because of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was his track record is he's a 53 touchdown, 9 interception guy.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity takes care of the moment. The moment was just an identifier. It's a red flag, but it's not a fatal flaw.
Well, let's go back to it. Fix it.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll go to break. We'll come back. We'll close out Old School here on The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 17th through Sunday, January 19th. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the 360 blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, try the 3D shoot and more. Get tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 17th through the 19th at the Sandhills Global Event Center, 84th and Havelock in Lincoln. Presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through January 14th is $2 off beef jerky, $2 off ready-to-eat meals, and 20% off all candy. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylab.lnk.com. Or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment, old school, before we hand it over to corner 3 and then some high school hoops. Lincoln Public Schools, they got a good matchup for us. Let's go through it. I got a question on the text on DP. Can you explain the difference between the Omaha professional volleyball teams? I'll give you I'll give you 2 answers. One that we're partnering with and one that we're not. But another answer is one that I am partnering with this year and one that I was the voice for last year. And I'll let them describe why.
Themselves.
Yeah. I think I've been pretty clear about who I am and what I do. I'm rooting for the Supernovas to do well. I'm rooting. We know Monday. Is it Monday or Tuesday where Love Omaha comes into the ticket?
Tuesday.
Tuesday they will
2:30.
be here, so there will be members of the squad here Tuesday to promote what's going on. So hey, if you're in the area and you're around the area of the ticket in the mill, you might want to stop in Tuesday.
And these are players
these
are
players you know. That is
I would say dudes, but I don't think that's the appropriate
No, they are players you know that are going to be here, and we're supporting Love Volleyball, the Omaha edition. They started, both leagues started, Love started Wednesday. Both teams had matches last night. I was a little surprised that Supernovas were not the season opener. The reigning defending champions weren't your game 1 against Atlanta, who is the preseason pick to win it. To win it all. As a matter of fact, those were the 2 last year, and I think.
And who did Atlanta draft number 1 overall?
Yeah, they went into the backyard and plucked somebody of favor, and it's on purpose. On purpose. But there's that. So their first home game is tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow.
I want to say it's tonight.
Supernovas tonight against Atlanta, CHI Health. And again, I have no
Love on the 24th.
Love on the 24th, right. But so Supernovas will start now. The veteran players, the more worldly players, Olympic players are playing in Love. The younger players get more opportunity in Pro Volleyball Federation. So that would be if you took the same player and put them in both leagues from Nebraska for the Huskers, this year's Husker team, you're more likely to play in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Yeah.
You're more likely to develop and form if you're in. I mean, again, if you're Lexi, Justine is there. That's kind of a thing. So, but we're rooting for both. 2 titles is better than 1. If I get to say so myself, and I'm rooting for them both to have complete and absolute success. Great. There's the women on the team. The women on the team, I'm all about. Great folks. I'm going to miss them being on the road with them and being around them. The other folks, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. Let's go through. To me, kind sir, do you take LA or Houston?
I'm on the Chargers. I'm on the Chargers. Sorry, not sorry, Jay. I'm on the Chargers.
Steelers, Ravens.
Lamar's that dude.
Lamar is that dude. Broncos, Bills.
Would love to see some fireworks up in Buffalo. I just think there's too much Bills.
Packers, Eagles.
Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hurts is back, and that should be enough. Monday night, Minnesota and Los Angeles.
This one intrigues me. In Phoenix. That's the interesting part of this, among other things. Before the year, I would have said the Rams. Right now, it's pretty hard to pick against the Vikes, so I will take the Purple People Eaters.
Can the Vikes recover from losing their game of the year in a short turnaround, no less?
I'm a Kevin O'Connell guy. I like him. I think he can do it.
Okay. And then those folks from D.C. travel to Tampa and take on the Fighting Baker Mayfields.
I can't say anything but D.C. in this environment.
Hello, sir.
I know better than that. I know better.
Read the room.
DC.
It's going to be a fantastic 4-day stretch of football. Some great basketball, some women's pro volleyball, if that's what you're going to do. I'm going to be at Devaney tomorrow afternoon as the Huskers wrestling team, Mark Manning, take on Minnesota Gophers in a brawl.
Do it, Harley.
Do it
to him.
Yeah, it's going to be a brawl. Men's and women's basketball this weekend. It's going to be a spectacular sports weekend. Stay warm, take care of yourselves, and be kind. Do me a favor. In my aunt's honor, be kind to your family this weekend. Just call somebody, text somebody, just because they're family.